Have you ever faced a challenge so big that it felt impossible to overcome? A moment when fear whispered, "You can't win." Yet something deep inside told you to stand and fight anyway? Today, we journey back thousands of years to the ancient hills of Israel, where a young shepherd boy named David faced a giant named Goliath. This is not just a story of a battle. It's a story of faith, courage, and God's power. The land of Israel was in chaos. The Philistines, a powerful enemy, had declared war on God's people. On one side stood the Philistine army, armed to the teeth. On the other, the Israelites, led by King Saul. Every day, the armies gathered on opposite hills, separated by the valley of Elah. But neither side moved. Why? Because of one man, Goliath. Goliath was no ordinary warrior. Standing nearly 9 feet tall, his armor alone weighed more than most men could carry. He was a human fortress, and his booming voice echoed across the valley. For 40 days, he taunted the Israelites. "Choose one man to fight me. If he wins, we'll serve you. But if I win, you will serve us." The soldiers trembled. Even King Saul, Israel's tallest and strongest man, dared not face him. Far away in the hills of Bethlehem, a teenage shepherd named David watched over his father's sheep. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't trained for war. But David had something others lacked, a deep faith in God. One day, David's father Jesse sent him to deliver food to his older brothers at the battlefront. When David arrived, he heard Goliath's mocking words. David couldn't believe what he was hearing. How could this uncircumcised Philistine dare to defy the living God? He turned to the soldiers and asked, "Who is this man that he should defy the armies of the living God?" They laughed. Some dismissed him as just a curious boy. Even his oldest brother Eliab grew angry, accusing him of arrogance. But David's heart burned with courage. He wasn't relying on his strength, he was relying on God. When King Saul heard about the boy's boldness, he summoned him. At first, Saul doubted him. "You are only a boy, and he has been a warrior since his youth." But David replied with calm confidence, "I have killed lions and bears while protecting my father's sheep. The same God who rescued me from their claws will rescue me from this giant." Saul hesitated, then handed David his royal armor. But the moment David tried it on, he shook his head. "I can't wear this. I'll fight him my way." David walked to a nearby brook, knelt down, and carefully chose 5 smooth stones. In his hand, he held nothing but a simple sling, the weapon of a shepherd. The battlefield grew silent as David walked toward Goliath. The giant laughed when he saw the boy approaching. "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks? Come here, and I'll feed you to the birds." But David stood firm and declared, "You come against me with sword, spear, and javelin. But I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, whom you have defied. Today, the Lord will deliver you into my hands." Goliath roared and charged forward. David didn't retreat. Instead, he ran toward the giant, reached into his bag, pulled out a stone, and placed it in his sling. With one smooth motion, he let it fly. Whiz, crack, the stone struck Goliath's forehead. The giant stumbled, swayed, and then crashed to the ground. David grabbed Goliath's own sword and finished the battle. The Philistines panicked and fled. In that moment, God used an ordinary boy to accomplish an extraordinary victory. David didn't win because he was strong. He didn't win because he was trained. He won because he trusted God completely. This story isn't just about David and Goliath. It's about you and the giants you face. Your giant might not carry a spear. It could be fear, doubt, failure, or pain. But just like David, you don't have to face it alone. When you put your trust in God, He gives you courage, strength, and victory. Remember this, no matter how big your giant seems, your God is always bigger. If this story inspired you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more cinematic Bible storytelling. And always remember, Faith turns ordinary people into giant slayers.